It's easy to confuse a delta and a lagoon.
All right, let me explain what's going on. Cops, for many, many years, and I've explained, and I like this. And by the way, yelling at the mayor of Fullerton, you're not going to be the mayor of Fullerton that long, that's not much of a threat. That's like when my manager, Ken, told me I'd get shit canned from the McDonald's in Studio City. I was like, really? Awesome. This is going to be great. Do I get to keep the mop and the hat, or is that leaving that behind? Here's the deal. I've said it a million times. Cops, especially the cops in California, and especially the L.A. cops, and the cops around L.A., as I mentioned famously, Burbank and Glendale, wherever, they don't feel like they work for you. Right. They feel like they're doing what the fuck they want to do. And you fuck with them, they'll kick the shit out of you because they're doing what they want to do. They've never answered to anybody. They do what they want to do. There's no such thing as them getting into trouble. You're in trouble. And if they pull you out of the car and you fucking crack wise or you shoot them a stink eye, then either they'll kick the shit out of you or they'll just make you sit by the side of the road while they take your car apart and then arrest you or tow it or do whatever. They've been doing whatever the fuck they've been wanting to do for... They've had a nice 75-year run. There's not a fucking thing anyone can do about it. Like I said, in Glendale and Burbank, they hand out 1,000 chicken shit jaywalking tickets every fucking day. And when you say to them, hey, man, that's I'm going to fight that, they go, yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. They do whatever the fuck they want. Well, now they're fucked. Because there's something called YouTube, and there's something called cell phones that have cameras in them, and now people are recording the shit that they've been doing for the last 50 years. You take a swing at a cop. I mean, let's put it this way. You get out of a car and you crack wise with a cop. He'll fucking make your life miserable. Now, take a swing at him, much less punch him. I think the guy punched him. I think this guy, according to the dad, punched the cop, which you should not do, but it should not cost you your life when there's 6 cops around you that all have 50 pounds on you. When you try to outrun a cop, when they catch up to you, they beat the fuck out of you. That's tradition. That's the way it's always worked. And in the past, yes.
It's a perk.
It's a perk of the job. And in the past...
It's a rite of passage.
Nobody would hear about this because it'd be 6 dudes and they'd all be on the same page and there's no YouTube and it's in a shitty neighborhood and you're gonna take the word of that junkie welfare ma over there? Bullshit. She's just pissed because I arrested her son 2 weeks ago. This guy threatened us. We didn't know... Even though he was on the ground, he still bit me in the thigh and we were defending ourselves, and they just move on business as usual. Well, cops need to learn that they work for us, and they don't get to just go off and do what they want to do. They're not allowed to stomp a person to death. For Christ's sake, they're not Don King. Oh, by the way, here's the picture. Here's a picture of the lady that was...
The weather has made her hair more frizzy these days, but other than that, spitting image.
Thank you. And by the way, an evergreen. Just as pertinent today as it was in 1973.
What gets
the point is the cops have been doing whatever the fuck they want, and they will physically kill you or beat you to a bloody pulp if you threaten them or if you try to evade them or if you whatever. That's, the whole thing, the Rodney King thing and all this stuff, that just caught on film.
Right.
They do it all the time. And by the way, what do I have? 6 black listeners? This guy's white. If he was black, Jesse Jackson would be out here. Al Sharpton would be out here. All the usual fuckwads would be out here. They'd be protesting. Via Retardo would be on the step of the fucking of the city council. They'd be talking about this would immediately be racial, would it not? It's in my book. How many times do I tell you? The cops are assholes. They're not racist assholes. They're assholes. Yeah. This guy's just a white dude. But what'd he do? He took a fucking swing. He's got red hair, for Christ's sake. But he took a fucking swing at a cop and they killed him with a boot. Now, if this guy were black, is there a human being that you could convince that it was not racially motivated? It'd be 5 or 6 white cops literally stomping to death a black man. And there's not a human being on the planet. I don't care if you're fucking right of Chuck Heston, who you could convince that was not racially motivated. Well, you killed a white guy. Where's the race issue?
Would you think it was racially motivated if you heard that? You would, right?
I would think it probably factored in.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, there's a black guy, let's kill him. But maybe it is 10% or something. It would be hard to deny, even for guys like me who've always argued that cops are assholes and not racist, because I try to defend you guys. They're assholes. Even for a guy like me, if that were a black man, you'd have to go, it is a little bit tough to say when you look at the picture of the guy's
this
face.
Makes us racist look bad.
Right. You've given, literally, pardon the pun, us racist a black guy. Or black guy, as we call him. Point is this. Cops do whatever the fuck they want, and they have done whatever they want, and they essentially, if you're a jaywalker, then you get harassed. We're lucky. We're not homeless. We don't punch cops. We don't lead them on high-speed pursuits, so we don't get the shit beat out of us. We get the shit beat out of our checkbook and our wallet and our checking account with chicken shit tickets, but we get a kind of a quiet, low-grade harassment, which is just pulled over for nothing and fucked with. Once in a while, so this is the extreme, is death, and then the lower-grade version is just a chicken shit jaywalking ticket. And I wish someone would say to cops, party's over. You work for us. Go find some fucking bad guys and bust them.
I mean, I feel like they're trying to say that now. I haven't seen this much outrage fomented.
But if somebody didn't have a cell phone with a camera in it, then it'd just be gone.
Well, there were bus surveillance cameras because it was at a transportation center.
Don't ever correct me when I'm on a roll. Number one, if someone had not shimmied up that bus surveillance pole with their cell phone. You're right,
with their cell phone.
You got to pick your spots.
Number two, again, I'm going to go racist on the non-racist thing. This is a white guy. If this was a black guy, this would be a national news story. Mm-hmm. And they would just go, L.A. cops at it again. L.A. cops brutally kill them, brutally stomp to death a homeless black man, blah, blah, blah. It's not national news, or at least hasn't got there yet, because it's just a red-haired guy. But this is what the cops do, and they don't care what color you come in. Take a swing at them. They'll kick the fucking shit out of you. Most of the time, they'll just break your ribs and your orbital socket. Once in a while, you'll die.
Brian wants to disagree with you.
No, just point of information. Was this LAPD or was it Fullerton?
No, 2 small points. It was Fullerton, not L.A.
I'm saying to the national audience, it would be just outside of L.A.
Starting to get national.
They'd work a little just outside of L.A. All right.
The thing that go ahead. The thing that gets me about this, beyond just the brutality of it, is that this helpless, schizophrenic, homeless guy was yelling, "I'm sorry." He was yelling, "Please help me." He was yelling, "Dad, Dad," and that 6 people. Where's the humanity? And I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I've never violently beat someone, so I don't know what happens when you're in that mode.
The night is young. It's a switch that's thrown, and it's no different than the fucking attack dog that took me down, which was, look, I thought I'd paid for the Funyuns, but I don't want to get. It's pending.
My
lawyer said not to talk about
pants?
I fucking ran and had one of those police dogs take me down, as I've said before. And when I told the guy who was much scarier than the dog, the handler, "Hey man, what do? Blow a whistle or you yell or you clap or something?" Like, how do I get the dog off me once I'm on the ground and the dog is still trying to... The dog doesn't know I'm doing a bit for the man show. The dog's trying to kill me. He said, it's a switch and it gets thrown. And it's a little hard to unthrow the switch once it's thrown. They don't blow a whistle and the switch gets thrown again. It's not like those James Bond movies where the guy's like, and the dogs come running back.
Right.
Oh, no, they're on. And what I found out later is the way the guy gets the dog off you, he kicks the dog in the ribs as hard as he can. After he gets to you. It takes him a little while to get to you.
No one knows this.
No. Well, you got to be attacked by a police dog.
Yeah.
The point is this. Once the switch is thrown in a dude... It's like when you see these guys, and they're like cage fighting, and the guy hits him with a fucking roundhouse spinning crescent kick and knocks the guy's block off, and he goes down in a heap, and he's lying on the ground, limp, his body's limp. The guy jumps on his head, and he's throwing punches at his head, and as the ref is pulling him off, he's throwing a punch at the back of the guy's head, who's clearly been out cold for 10 seconds now. It's a switch that dudes have. Not all dudes, not civilized dudes, but dudes who think being a cop would be a good idea. Most of those guys have that switch. You throw that switch, it's shark feeding frenzy shit where they're biting each other. They're biting the propeller on the boat. They're biting the fucking spare tire, the old tire that's hanging off the side of the boat. They're just biting. Once they start kicking and beating the shit out of something or somebody, it's on. That's it. It's a switch.
Do you think they start that way, or do you think it has to do with so much time on the job actually being afraid?
Dudes have that. There's a dude, it's that sort of played football in high school, aggressive, whatever, like all this sort of, these guys aren't Harvard material. I mean, think about who they are and where they started and all that. I'm not saying all the look, it's good that
I've seen Matt Damon movies.
It's a switch, and the switch gets thrown, and they fucking get going, and someone has to pull them off.
Speaking of fighting, Octomom Nadia Suleiman